I don't hear no music.
I don't hear no music. Don't hear it.
No. We both sitting there like, what's she dancing to?
Okay. Add up. Oh, you know what? When I got kicked out and came back in, it took it off. Okay, here it is.
There we go.
Fresh out the oven, straight to the bank. Ben's Hager smelling like bank. Seats, somebody died on them. Kitty looking like somebody cried on it. Ooh, what you looking at? What you looking at? Body like cinnamon roll. Icing on the top, if you got it, let's go.
Yes.
Did what just happened? Did everybody?
I'm sure they did. They saw that. Yes, we're going to cut. We're going to have to. We have to cut that in post production before that gets uploaded.
Let me tell y'all, if y'all watching now, y'all missed the beginning. Just rewind to the beginning. Y'all gonna see something like it being like
no music. No music.
Yes, that's all right. That's all right. Little
right.
hiccup, but we still smooth with our shit.
Girl.
So.
Exactly.
Welcome to another Grown Ass Women Shit. It is No Bra Wednesday. Again,
What?
Take your titties out.
My
take
titties
the bra
out.
off.
My
it's
titties
the
out.
end of the day, and y'all rolling with us because we gonna have fun and we gonna drop this shit today.
Yes.
So what are we talking about today? We're talking about, let's talk about stress, baby. Let's talk about how you cussing motherfuckers out and don't know why. So
right. You cursing people.
This is gonna be a lively discussion. I mean, we got a professional in the house. Yeah, she is an alum, but I am not going to introduce her. You know, we get the legit professionals up in here to talk about this shit. So with that, before we introduce our wonderful guest, I'm going to pass it on to my girl, Sonia. Change your name. The sensuous.
Yes. I did all of that. I had done all of that. Did all of that. And then I got kicked out of the meeting. And so then that's, hey.
You kicked all of us out. Oh, wow. Me too.
Yours is so, okay. So let's go ahead and change our names.
All right. No, go ahead and introduce yourself.
No, okay. So yes, I am Sonia, the stressed out sensuous, the sensuous certified sexologist. And it's my job to make sure we sizzling and hot over here. So but right now I'm trying to deal with these computer issues. Just as a reminder, we go live on Facebook every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern for No Bra Wednesday, where we let our girls loose. What? And we say it with our breasts and titties. Yes, ma'am. Next Wednesday, we will be ready for Money Moves with Paz, where we're going to be talking about financial literacy. Hello. What's going on with us understanding how your money works? Because that's why a lot of us
are intimidated by wealth. Are you intimidated? That's the topic. Yes. Are you financially intimidated? You scared. You scared to get that money, but that's all right. We're gonna break that down.
We're gonna break that shit down. Yes. And just as a reminder, we go live for the first Wednesday of each month. It's either Ask Your Daddy or Shooting the Shit with Sonia and Paz. Second Wednesday of the month is Cocktails with a Sexologist. So you get to talk about sex with yours truly. And then the fourth Wednesday of each month, we got Money Moves with Paz, where we break down the money shit and talk about getting that wallet together. Hello. So we're excited to be here talking about stress and what it does and how the impact that it can have on us. And we are so excited to have a veteran. Yes, a veteran in the house. Yes. We have the beautiful, the amazing Miss Roethia. So Roethia, introduce yourself, ma'am, and tell us all about who you are, what you got going on.
Okay, so I am Roethia Butler. I'm the owner of Akili Wellness Services. I work predominantly with African-American women as a mental health therapist, and I provide holistic treatment to high-achieving, people-pleasing, strong ones that are ready for synergy and peace without worry, guilt, or sadness in their life.
Girl, you better say it without worry, stress. I know that's right. She like they want to establish peace. Hello. Yes.
And synergy.
And synergy. Yes. Because I mean, some of us are looking for some peace right about now.
Mm-hmm.
So we're excited to have you on for this very amazing this topic that sneaks up on us and half of us acting like we not stressed and have no idea just where we are and what's going on. So let's talk about, I know we put a poll in the group to ask you what are some of the things that you like to do to de-stress. And we're going to talk about some of those. Yes, girl. We're going to talk about some of those a little later, but let's talk about even knowing the signs that you even are stressed. Because I think that one of the biggest things is that we don't recognize the stress, and some of us are desensitized to the stress. And so therefore we walk around stressed the fuck out and have no idea. And but it is wreaking havoc on your mental and your physical. Among other things.
That physical effects.
Yeah. So what are those? Go ahead, Pa.
No, I was just gonna say what happens to me with stress. I mean, well, first of all, most of the time I don't recognize it until I'm getting heart palpitations or I'm cussing bitches out. Like, what?
That's a sign that you might be stressed.
Right. I'm a little stressed out. So it's difficult it has been difficult for me to recognize early on. And also to identify it, because I think we've been normalized to carry stress, to live with it as if it is something that is normal. And stress is normal, but
it is.
Excessive stress is not normal. And I think for me, being working mom, even doing this, doing this show every week and all of the obligations.
We stressing you.
So yeah, she said you are adding additional stress to her plate.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
I do.
Some days I gotta tell Sonya, slow down, shorty. Slow down.
You like pump your brakes.
Pump your brakes. We are taking a break. So
I'm like, no.
You have to set the boundary. So just being able to recognize early on, that's what I'd like to know about what are some of the signs that I can check in with myself when I don't even realize I'm stressed. How do you identify those things in your practice, Roethia?
A lot of what I do with my clients is help them learn how to tune into their body. So there's somatic work that is done. What we know through research is we function like right here. And very few people are aware of somatically what's happening with them, because your bodies tell you more about what's going on than your brain, right? And so even I think the last time I was on here, we talked about trauma. There's a book called The Body Keeps the Score. The body does store everything, but most people are not tuning in and paying attention to that. So that you said the heart palpitations, those heart palpitations started long before you was cussing people out.
Right.
Right. And if I am practicing such practices as mindfulness, or I'm engaged in a somatic therapy process where I'm learning how to be aware of my body, then you start to develop the skill set that I'm paying attention all day, every day to what's happening in my body. So when something is wrong or something is shifting, I recognize those shifts and I can start to examine within myself what's contributing to the shifts for me. So that, meditation helps. I think, people doing yoga, things of that nature, activities that help you connect to the body more, help you become more aware of your body.
Got it. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Well, yeah, because I was going to say I was surprised. Like even when I started experiencing some high blood pressure, initially when I started experiencing going through menopause, I'm like, how do people not feel this? Like I can feel it if I put my foot down up against the surface. I feel the pressure in between my foot and the surface, and I'm like, how are people unaware of that? But I guess it's easy. I know I'm very sensitive to what goes on in my body, but it's very possible to start tuning that out. And I'm like, I'll feel all of this stuff going crazy. And then that puts me in a state of fear, like, okay, well, what's going on with my body? What do I need to do? How do I need to take care of it? That sort of thing. So, but yes, I guess, but it's so easy to not notice.
Yeah. Most people don't operate in a space of body awareness, right? We stub our toe and be like, ow, and keep moving, right? No one stops to be like, dang, this actually hurt. Like, and do I sit back and check? And did I break my toe just now? Or did I just stub my toe and I'm on my way out the door, so I got somewhere to go and I ain't got time to figure out if my toe is broke or not? Just small things like that.
Yeah.
If I'm not being like, wait a minute, what just happened here? Let me make sure I didn't crack a toe, or something's not completely wrong. We don't pay attention to all the signs that your body gives you, because it's constantly giving you warning signs, constantly. And so even if you are out somewhere and it can be as simple as someone comes into your space and you're like, I don't know about this person. Most people dismiss it. And because my friend knows them, I'm going to continue to engage this person versus honoring my intuition just told me there's something wrong with this person. Energetically, I'm not paying attention to what's happening. And it's a skill set. Honestly, I tell people it is a skill set to be attuned to what's happening with you.
Right.
And to listen to it.
And to listen.
To actually honor it.
It's 2 steps. It's 2 steps. Yep. You can hear it, feel it. You feel it or hear it. And then you make a choice on how you're going to proceed with that. And ignoring it is easy. Like whatever.
Right.
But I what I was going to say about, when you were talking about being in tune with your body, I think for me, a lot of times I'm focused on what's going on outside with other people, and their voices, their voices and their issues become more important than mine.
Girl, you better tell it.
And I'm falling apart. I'm like, it's funny. I went to, I've been in physical therapy and different things for really the whole right side of my body. And, I just been walking through the pain, just moving through the pain, like, oh, okay, my shoulder. All right, let me just stretch it out and then keep it moving. Oops, my knee. Let me walk a little different down the steps. I mean, some mornings I have to think about walking down the steps, but the goal is to get down the steps versus let me check in and see what the hell is going on with my knee. So I think in the past year, I've started paying attention more to these little pings and pangs, that have been bothering me. So and I made it worse by ignoring it too. Some of it I made it worse.
Yeah, well, I mean, of course, we know from a stress standpoint, it starts getting worse. So it starts out with just being, I feel some level of discomfort or I'm thrown off or whatever it is. And then you ignore it. And before you know it, it gets piled on and piled on and piled on. And then next thing you know, you in the bed laid out.
Right.
Yeah. Or you have some type of emotional breakdown or something that says that, okay, you have that blow up when you start slapping people at work.
Yep.
That happens typically because people engage in what in the clinical world, and I might be dating myself, we call it stuffing. Nothing is, it's almost, I always use the analogy, it's kind of like I got my mouth wide open. I'm just taking it all in. I'm taking it all in.
Wow.
And it could be things that are bothering me that I don't like. And I'm like, I'm good. And you keep pushing. But what you don't realize is we all have a threshold. And that threshold, once it's reached, is like a volcano. And you can be sitting at a table with someone and they say, pass the salt, and you just explode.
It's all walk 15.
Right. And they looking like, what the hell just happened? Right. I just asked her to pass the salt.
Like, you got me
and I just got ready to riot at. And that's because that particular person has been holding all of the things, right? So whatever is bothering them, stressing them, they're holding it, and they're walking around and being dishonest with themselves, right? They're not being honest about how they're feeling or what's going on with them. They're not being honest to themselves. They're not being honest with other people. And then they take it out. It comes out on the wrong person. And then everyone's looking at them like they crazy.
Right.
Right. And they trying to, they're sitting there like, well, I don't understand why you think I'm crazy, because this and this didn't happen. But they were like, but all they asked you to do was pass the salt.
Right.
Right. When you boil it down, it's like all this over some damn salt.
Right.
But it's really not about the salt. And
it's never
in those situations, I always think about the 4 agreements. Don't take it personally. You know, if it happens. That's the time to really, when you're the recipient of that type of venom, or however you take it, it could be really neutral. That type of communication. Let's keep it neutral.
Yeah. Feedback.
That's
feedback.
a good, right. Feedback. You get to check in.
Right.
You really get to check in, because I mean, Lord, I have been really stressed the past few weeks, and I blew up on the people trying to make an appointment. I was like, I need to see my counselor.
They probably used to it. They like,
I was like, I am tripping, because my therapist took off 2 weeks from, she had a family emergency, and it would have been real easy for me to just be like, well, she off 2 weeks, I ain't gonna make no appointments. But I did wait a little while. I waited another 2 weeks because I had things to do besides take care of myself. And by the time I called, I was cussing the girl out on the phone. She felt like she had been cussed out. I was like, what is wrong with y'all? Just transfer me. I need an appointment now. So, I know how to do that, but I have to be mindful about how other people, the people on the receiving end, when I get to that point too,
So, like how, like how Pastel lost it on us when we were down in Houston. Remember? We went out to eat, and Pastel went the fuck off, and we were like, okay. He's like, I'm not eating here tonight. Okay.
Do not have me hungry. Now that was a physical response.
Right.
My glucose was low. My sugar drop.
And she lost it in the restaurant, and we were like, what the fuck? Okay, all right.
Like, came back just nice.
Came back after she ate, she was smiling again. We're like, what the fuck?
Right.
Yes. So now, the thing.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm about to say, the thing that was coming up for me, just with respect to the fact that often it's also women that do this a lot, and I want to talk about some of the cultural implications that has us actually ignoring what happens for us. So, what are some of the reasons that we actually get into those habits, and kind of what culture almost like dictates that women, you act like nothing's wrong with you so that you can go along and get along. So what are some of the things have you seen in just culturally as Black women that has us actually operating in that place?
Well, you're speaking directly to the strong Black woman moniker. Right? We all know that we've had to endure different things just being part of this country. But there's also the messaging that we give to ourselves around, and sometimes it's legit and it's real. where if I don't do it, who's going to do it?
Right.
Right.
That's a big one.
I can't depend on other people to do it for me.
They ain't gonna do it right.
Right. They're not right. They're not going to do it right. But I think what people miss is that oftentimes those responses are linked to trauma. Right. Because if you start to really dig into it, where in my life have I been let down? That message became, my marching order on how I have to live. And and so when you get into that space,
I'm sorry, can we take a breath on that? Can we take a breath on that real quick?
Sure.
Where have I been let down in my life? Y'all just listen to that and really let that sink in. Go ahead, Dr. Bro. Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, it's let down in my life, unmet needs, all kinds of things that have happened, or messaging. Because sometimes we're given messaging from our parents that they don't recognize they're telling us, right? That, you have to be perfect. You got to get it right. You can't be less than, right? You can't be average. You have to do more.
Oh my goodness.
All of these messages, and it doesn't even have to be said in those words. It can be something as simple as when I think about myself, and I had this conversation with my dad in 2020 because we walked, and I was like, yeah, I need to tell you something.
Let me dump all this.
And I told him, I said,
let me tell you a little something.
What sticks with me, because I am a self-proclaimed perfectionist. I own it. I wear it like a badge, and I'm like, it's part of who I am. Positives, negatives, all of that about it. But I said to him, I said, that got ingrained in me because you told me I could not bring home anything less than a B to your house.
Girl, I think you're going to have the same father.
Right. Don't bring nothing less than a B in this house. And I was like, that was probably middle school. And I told him, I said, do you realize I got 1 C on my report card and I forged my damn report card so that I would not get in trouble for you? Do you realize that's where I went? Because I was like, ooh, I got a C. Oh no, we can't, I can't take that home because this means problems. I'm about to get in trouble. I can't do that. And I told him, I said, to this day, I operate in that space. And while it has been beneficial to me professionally, educationally, to achieve things, there's also detrimental spaces because I'm also looking at and assessing my world differently.
Right.
And who can step up to support me. And when people fall short, then I'm like, get out the way. I got this.
Right.
Because I can't, you ain't gonna do it right. As Pastel said. Right.
Well, who teaches that lesson? Go ahead. Finish.
No, go ahead.
No, for me, my kids have been the biggest teachers on that because they like, fuck you and what you want, because we don't want that. Especially my son. He like, I don't give a damn about grades. And he's brilliant. My daughter, I made the rule that everybody in this house goes to college and finishes. That's what we do. They
gave you the middle city, right? I'm gonna say they gave them both, right?
Right. That shit ain't the only way. I ain't ready. You know what I'm saying? It really, and if we are not open to adjusting our boundaries, that can cause undue stress because of having expectations of our children and people around us to be like we are is very unfair and can cause stress, anxiety. My daughter and I, we're getting along so good because I'm like, shit, whenever you're ready, where you going? Right. Wherever you want to go, I'm going to support you because it was stressful for me. Like, why you ain't following my goddamn rules? I know what the hell I'm talking about. Parents, we all know everything. been there, done that. Not, bitch, no, you have not been there, done that. You have not lived that life. You lived your life. Right. So, you know, let yourself off the hook, let your children off the hook. Right. You know, I know we have expectations, but you've done your job. You know, let them be who they're gonna be.
Yeah, and unfortunately, some of those expectations are born out of fear because, of course, they were very real repercussions if you did not live up to some of the expectations that you had. And so some of it was, you know, it was built on it was baked into our survival. Mm-hmm. And so for some of us, we have it in our DNA that if you don't perform here, you might be out of here. Right. And so there's then this is also this fear that, you know, somehow I have to do these things. And so this drive to keep going when, I mean, I will skip meals. I had my friend had to be like, Sonia, put it on your calendar for lunch, because you would think I don't completely just understand that. Because I would look up and it'd be 7, 8 o'clock. And I'm like, oh, I haven't eaten today because I'm just working. Got to get it done. Yeah. So, yeah.
It's so now, easy to fall in that space where you forget about you.
Easily.
Yeah. Yeah. Easily. So now we talked about recognizing some of the ways that we might be stressed out. What I was just thinking about how some of the detrimental, like how does this really impact us in serious ways? Because I think that sometimes we don't always recognize what stress does and how it literally, there are people that die because of stress and we're not acknowledging.
We have a comment in the chat about that. Someone said, my medical team has concluded that emotional stress was a major cause of the stroke I had.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, but it causes heart disease. It causes so many different high blood pressure, of course, and a lot of other things that then they can go unchecked and really cause you to diminish your life force, diminish your quality of life, simply because of not being aware of needing to get off the stress wheel.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, you named some of the major health things, but I think some people don't even recognize acid reflux, ulcers. Your commenter said a stroke, like the stroke and the heart attack, those are like the major ones, right? But if I'm finding when I eat my food, I'm getting irritated, that's an indication that your body's talking to you. It's like, hello, I'm going to find a way to communicate to you something ain't right here. Right. Yeah. And so there are a lot of, I have clients where they're like, oh, I have ulcers. I was like, I believe it. I can see it and I understand, because even when we do somatic work, where you have your ulcer is where you also carry your stress. So that body-mind connection is very important. And I think people, we don't think about it. And I think with mental health being on the bubble or the rise now, people are starting to understand that you can't separate your head from your body because they're all connected.
Right.
I don't know why we didn't do that before, but people can continue to try, but they go hand in hand.
Like I'm gonna put this over there.
Right. Right. Or let me just sit my body down while my head go do something. Right. It doesn't work that way. Right. So you have to pay attention that, stress shows up in different ways. In addition to the health spaces, it ruins relationships.
Girl.
If I'm popping off on people all the time. Right.
I'm gonna be alone.
Lose relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would even say that stress is a factor in things like cancer as well. Stuffing, not releasing, holding back. I know people who don't give a damn, they have a lot less stress, of course. So they're releasing, or people even with popping off, really. There's some people who will hold that in. So it has to go somewhere. I'd rather go out this way than sit there and fester and create, some cellular abnormalities, which is cancer.
Right.
So popping off ain't bad. It moves it out of the body into the space. However, there could be damage on the other end.
Yeah. you still have some collateral damage happening.
Right.
So then
right. So then it's also
maybe not.
Right.
We don't know.
So it's also getting it out, but learning how to get it out in a way that causes the least amount of harm. So it doesn't mean, and it doesn't always mean that, it's sometimes there might be something that you have to clean up later. Because, pops off on somebody. However, I pulled up a thing about the effects of stress, and there were a couple that to me were not ones that I would readily come up with. Like one is excessive gambling or impulse buying.
Yep.
And actually, yes. Let's see, problems in communication or sharing. Obsessive or compulsive behavior. I guess I could see this one. Overaction to petty annoyances. You're getting on my goddamn forgetfulness, disorganization, and confusion.
So we've been talking about that. I told Sonia, I forgot something. I have a bank account that I check regularly. And there was this account on my I'm like, what the fuck is this account? It's like there's $2,000 in it.
And then she told me about
it. And I'm like, but my money is moving into this account. I'm not moving my money in this account. And there's this other account putting money in the account. I call the bank. They're like, ma'am, do you know Jane Doe? That's the other cosigner on the account. I said, oh my God. They were like, you opened this account back in. I said, yes, I did, sir. I said, forget this call, please. I opened the account and completely forgot.
It been moving money.
It was moving money, actively moving money up until last month. Wow. And for whatever the reason that day, I guess my brain didn't have room to Rolodex that information. And it said, fuck it. It just flew right out. But I was deeply disturbed. Yeah. And I still am disturbed by that whole thing, and with this conversation, it's a reflection of my stress, my stress level. I'm clear about that at this point, right in this moment.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is part of your conversation.
No,
because I'm listening to Pastel talk about her stress, and I'm like, so what do you do?
Yes, that's what we want to hear next. Now we want to hear that next.
So this weekend, I'm planning on going dancing. You going, bro?
I will not be there this weekend.
Oh.
No, you're not going?
I have shoots. Dancing. I have photo shoots.
It's till 9 o'clock. You gonna have shoots till 9.
Y'all don't understand the work involved.
Okay, see?
I'll see how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling okay, then I'll come.
I'm going dancing, intentionally going dancing this weekend to release, because that's one of my that's really my primary stress reliever. Either that or going hiking or something like that. I have to do something physical to move. So today I took a walk. Instead of driving to the library, I walked to the library. So just getting outside is a intentional way I release stress. And then therapy. So I set up my appointment after I cuss people out.
After she cursed them out.
I'm like, you ain't right. Go make your appointment. It is time. So, I'm definitely, doing things, being intentional about when I feel like I'm at the edge though, with the stress. I would like to be proactive, a little, to catch it earlier. Right. So checking in with my body is something I'm taking away. And I know this, you just need the reminder,
Well, for me, I have a routine.
And that's a good idea.
Simple. I have a routine. with the weather breaking, I am able to get back out. I normally am walking 4.5, 5 miles every morning. So when I start my day, I'm like at the floor emotionally. I'm all the way at the floor. So whatever's happening for me throughout the day, if it causes stress, by the time I leave work, like I told you today, my last client ended at 7:30. I wasn't feeling stressed throughout the entire day because I did that activity in the morning. And I put things in place such as meditation as part of my practice. There are certain things that I do just to make sure that I am mentally present, aware of what's happening with me. Of course, eating healthy foods, those types of things. If I'm in my office, I'm making sure I'm walking around. If I can't get out of the space, I'm walking around the space. But having movement is what I have learned for myself is very important to help my stress level stay low. So there's really not much that gets me stressed. So even when I was trying to get home to be on here, the road was blocked off and I'm like, all right, I just got to go down. This is going to take a little longer, but my stress level still didn't rise.
Got it.
Because I'm clear enough in my head that I can think and problem solve. And there's not a lot there that's preventing me from thinking through a solution to the problem that was looking like a barrier for me being on time.
Got it.
So it's kind of how do you start your day can determine how your day is going to go.
One of the things that I recognized, especially when I was doing a lot to pour into myself and to really give to myself, I was getting regular massages where it was once a week. I used to get once a week and I'd never miss an appointment. So it was like, I'm going to this appointment. I don't care what else is happening. And I noticed the impact when one day I was leaving the garage from the massage and the clerk popped off at me about something. And normally she'd have got Southeast. So she'd have got, bitch, let me tell you, yes, we lived in Southeast at one point and I will, you about to get these, it might not be hands, but you about to get this damn mouth. And actually in that moment instead, I actually felt genuine concern for her. And it wasn't fake. It was literally like, and I said, oh, wow, I hope you have a better day. And she didn't get the pop off. And I thought about it later, like, what the hell? Why didn't you curse her ass out? And I was like, because I feel good. I felt I just had an amazing massage, bitch. You are not going to disturb my peace. And so it was just like, yeah, so I recognize when I am doing those things, how differently I can respond to stuff. And when, that stuff is missing, you're liable to get these hands, this mouth, and all sorts of shit.
It's a little different for people who are caretakers and being parents and all that stuff. I mean, for me, when things are not right with my children, or if I'm feeling, which has been very much lately, being worried about my kids, I lose sleep. So a lack of sleep is also a big factor in my stress level. So for the past week or so, I've been getting like 3 hours a night. I was on here last week. I had 3 hours to sleep, so that can just cause so much physical stress. And in addition to working and then taking care of others, it sounds real good in theory to say, have a routine, but sometimes that's not possible. It may be about stopping when you have a moment, or, just taking 5 minutes. I think everybody can find 5 minutes to kind of get, do a little something for themselves. So what do you recommend for folks who are super busy? I'm looking on the chat. I'm looking at, someone on there who's a caretaker and has small children, and it's stressful. You know, so what does someone like that do?
That what you just said, right? You have to be intentional.
Yeah.
Right. This is when you're thinking about just caring for yourself, because I think that's what ultimately we're talking about is self-care. There has to be some level of intention, because as women, we're natural nurturers and givers. But most women forget to give to themselves. And so so me saying I have a routine, I recognize everyone does. That's a privilege that I can get up and just go out and do that. I recognize that's a privilege.
But and I'm jealous.
But I think there's always a way, because if I literally, because I say I've done this in sessions with clients where I'm sitting down, I said, walk me through your day. And we literally walk through the day. And my thing is, I'm never telling someone you don't have to do it the way I do it. If you can find 15 minutes to take a walk, I said 15 minutes is 7 minutes out, 7.5 minutes out, and 7.5 minutes back. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. It's just a short shift. All I need to do is be able to shift and be somewhere else and practice being present, mindful of where I am.
Yeah.
Because you can shift your environment and shift what you're doing, but still be in a worried state.
Right.
Right. But if I'm not intentionally saying this is a time where I need to tune in to me and just be aware of what's happening with me, you have to be intentional with it. It doesn't happen by osmosis. I've had people be like, well, I'm not motivated to do some I said motivation comes from doing. That's where motivation comes from. It does not appear because I sat on the sofa and waited for motivation to show up. It does not show up that way. Motivation comes from doing. When I do, I experience positive gain. When I get positive gain, I want to keep doing it. Right?
Yeah.
So even for me, this walking thing didn't start until the pandemic. That's when it started. And it started because I was getting stir crazy sitting in the house. And I didn't start out walking 4.5, 5 miles. I could barely do a mile. And like I'm walking with my father, who was, 20 years my senior. He talking about, come on, girl, you going slow. And I'm looking like, nah, I can't let this old man beat me.
Right. Like, oh, hell no.
But it was me paying attention. After I got done, I tuned in. How do I feel right now after accomplishing this? And I've started recognizing I could feel the energy within my body shifting and changing. It felt good just to move. Not trying to sweat a whole lot. I'm just moving. My goal is just simply to move.
Yep. I want to read a couple of the comments. Somebody said, I went through depression recently, and that played a big role, which led to stress as well. For sure.
Yeah.
I have to practice being intentional every day and allow myself grace when I slip up.
Yes.
Excellent. Grace is so important, because I think when you fall into that space of perfection, right? I gotta get it right. Then there's no room for me to flex. There's no room for me to be like, well, today I didn't do 15 minutes. I only did 5 minutes, and celebrate that.
Right.
That's still a win. And most people do not celebrate their wins. They don't recognize when they are staying in that space of positive change that they're trying to make. They're only focused on what they didn't do.
Right. And beating yourself, flogging yourself as a result of it.
Right.
I also had to find ways to make it easy for me to do it. So like you just mentioned, Roethia, I started walking. I was walking when I was in Florida, 5 miles a morning. But it started with, I'm up getting my niece ready for school. So after I get her out the door, get her in the car, I was like, and now we walk. And so it was like, I developed the routine. It's like, you're up. We haven't started doing anything. We can walk right now. And so it was like this now that this habit, because once I have the habit, then it's like, oh, this is what I'm going to do. This is what it was a given. So it's like, get her in the car and then I walk. So I would actually get up with put on my walking clothes and be ready to walk with her. And then with the eating during the day, it wound up having to be me shifting one, what's the priority? And then two, what I consider to be fires. Because it was like, this really is not more important than you eating right now. And I had to start pushing things to the side. And then I got into a habit where, oh, nope, shut it down. This is my lunchtime. And I was taking an hour and a half going downstairs, cooking and taking my time to eat, not trying to rush through stuff. But I had to actually make a conscious choice. Like we talk about being intentional. I had to say, this is what I'm doing. And then I had to then insist on doing that. So
yep. That is being intentional. I think there are a lot of people with kids that sometimes I might have to get up 30 minutes before the kids wake up because that's my time.
Right.
And that's my protected time for me to do whatever, journal, walk, exercise, read a book, pray, whatever I'm finding to help ground myself so that as I move through the day, I am not, starting the day on 10.
Right.
I'm finding a way to bring myself down so I can start the day at 0. And by the end of the day, maybe I'm at about an 8, but I'm leaving, so it don't matter no more. Right? If I'm going into work, I'm leaving. I'm at an 8, but I'm leaving and I get to go home.
Right.
Which brings me back further down.
Yeah.
And just speaking about it, I'm going home. Home may be a stressor for some people.
Yeah.
It could be.
Unfortunately.
It could be.
Yeah. Right.
It could be.
Going home can be a stressor because just thinking about like personally, I don't ever need to see the office ever again in life. But I know many people who are excited about going back into the office because their home has become this place of stress and discomfort. It's not a place they want to be. So going into work is a stress reliever, getting away from those things that cause you stress. I know for one thing for me, I feel better when my house is clean. Just making your space inviting can, burning certain candles or listening to certain music, you have to really get back into the things that make you feel good.
Yeah.
When I was, that you enjoy, like house music. My kids think I'm crazy. I'm blowing out both knees up in here. If I
You're not the only one. You're not the only one.
You know how we do.
You're not the only one. Because I have my niece, I love soca as well. And I've had my niece for a summer and she was like, what are you doing? I'm jumping around the house like jump.
Right.
Waving a rag in the air. And I'm like, she's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm dancing. I'm having a good time. I'm letting it go. Whatever it is.
Yeah. Music is definitely another form of meditation. Just checking, just letting go and turning on some of your favorite music and going back, reminiscing or whatever that music that makes you feel good, makes you feel excited, makes you feel sexy, makes you feel like home, takes you back to home. Take yourself to a place where you feel good and your environment feels good. So change your damn sheets, get them raggedy ass sheets off them bed. Why do your sheets have balls on them? I was like,
dang,
I'm serious.
That's real.
I'm a high thread count girl, and I'm not ashamed of it. Don't have no balls on no damn sheets.
Right, because you don't understand the level of stress that it causes you. You're not even paying attention to that. But it's just like little minor irritations just little minor irritations that just, you don't even get how much is irritating it.
Mm-hmm. Your bed should be a place of rest. I should not be rolling on little balls on my sheets. So I had to get rid of some very expensive sheets that weren't shit. Get you some thick ass towels. I'm looking for thick. Who got a recommendation for some thick ass towels?
Yeah, they're hard to find.
Little shit like that. That's like, ooh, this towel feels so good. Ooh, this bed feels so good. Mm-hmm. My menopausal ass, I'm sweating. Change them damn sheets, y'all. I'm telling you, it will change your life. It will change your life. Spray some lavender on them joints.
And I know this could be a whole nother show too, but in terms of course, we know having sex and orgasms also are a great.
We always tell me that shit. She's like, yes. When's the last time you had an orgasm?
Yeah, girl, yes. It's a big stress, and it does not require a partner. Hello, so find yourself either a finger or a toy and handle that. But sometimes you need to do that to support yourself in sleeping. We release a lot of great hormones that actually combat stress and combat cortisol in your body. So it would be a really good stress reliever. And of course, you feel really good after that as well. Yeah. Yeah. So you get that whole sex glow.
Yeah.
Right. You did something a little different.
Highlighting the music. And that's also something that I offer is sound healing. Using music to help.
Say that again.
Sound healing.
Sound healing. Okay.
And that is the use of crystal bowls. And most of what you were talking about, change your sheets, make your space feel inviting and comfortable. You're talking about energy flow.
Yes.
When you have your space.
Don't translate, Dr. Rose. I'm gonna keep calling you.
Don't break it down. Don't break it down.
That's what you're talking about. You're creating energy flow, and that energy that you have in your space is what creates that homey feeling, right? It makes me feel comfortable to be at home, or make me want to be at home, because that space is calm, right? And it's calming for me. But with music, I think music is powerful. I think for all cultures, with African Americans, with our lineage being in Africa, we're very much connected to music, and music is part of everyday life, right? Mm-hmm. How you do things, if we think back hundreds of years. But music has been used to heal people as well.
Right.
Yep.
And reduce anxiety, reduce depression symptoms, assist with regulating your energetic flow in your body, all of that stuff.
Yeah, really important stuff. But I think that the really important thing is to acknowledge and recognize stress is happening, and it's happening on a daily basis. This is not something about, am I stressed? Yes, you experience stress. The question is, how are you handling it? What are you doing for yourself to minimize or to manage the stress that you're experiencing? Stress is a natural part of life, and it doesn't necessarily have to be detrimental. And I was reading a whole book on how it can be even important, because it causes us to action and causes us to pay attention to deal with things that we need to deal with. And it doesn't necessarily, we don't have to let it grow to the point where it's taking you out.
Exactly. Right. I think that's an important part that you made. And I think when you think about emotion, period, many people want to try to stay away from negative emotion, which causes them to have negative emotion, and not recognize that we're supposed to be feeling everything. So anxiety, depression, stress, all of that is meant to be felt, because as you pointed out, these are methods to help me protect myself in many cases. And they're prehistoric or whatever built into us, but that's where the fight or flight comes from, or fight, flight, freeze, faint, or fawn. They add another F. They keep adding
all kinds of Fs, right?
They keep adding another F. But those are natural responses for us, and they're protective measures. And so if people are like, well, I don't ever want to be stressed, I say you can live in a space where you're less stressed.
Right, but stress is natural.
Right, but stress is natural.
Right. Yeah.
But I can tell you what something else you could do. Get rid of some of them damn energy vampires in your life.
Girl, that's a whole nother show.
Well,
we need to do a show on energy vampires. We need to talk about that. We need to break it down and talk about how they try to suck the very life out of you if you are not careful. So that's a whole show, though.
Haters, all them haters, cut them. Cut them loose. I don't give a fuck who they are. Your mama, your daddy, all of them.
Girl, cut them.
Tell them, no, I'm not doing this. There is no one who has ownership over causing stress in your life. Even though our parents think they have a right to say what the fuck they want. Fuck that. Fuck that.
Protect your peace.
They got to go too. Protect your peace. I don't give a damn who it is.
Yeah.
Shit. And I'm saying it, damn it.
I saw someone put in a comment, yes, even humming is healing in the body. The vibration soothes and relaxing. That's very true.
Yes. And
just humming a song.
That's my girl. And she's actually a sound healer as well. So she sings and helps heal. So so thank you for that comment, funny. Karen. What?
Because my son, when he was a little baby, he used to soothe himself. He go, and we thought it was, but he would soothe himself by humming as a baby. I mean, he was like not even one. He was the little bitty thing, you know. He would hum, and we thought it was so cute, but he was soothing himself. Right. He was like, "Y'all stressing me the fuck out, get away."
Right. Exactly. So, well, yes, I mean, we really just kind of even tapped into and touched on the iceberg. There's a couple of things I would say, you know, there's so much on stress. We recommend that you Google it, take a look at, you know, whether you're recognizing what symptoms, and then also what some of the things that you can do to, you know, support yourself, and how to avoid some of the shadow sides of comfort, because some of the shit we doing is not.
We didn't even talk about shadow work.
Yeah, we did not. We shadow. Yeah, we need to talk about that too. Yeah, but doing the, you know, all of some of the stuff that we do to numb, like, you know, excessive drinking and all of the other stuff that's not actually supported. And excessive, you can numb out with sex. There's a lot. You can overdo eating. You can overdo a lot of stuff. But yeah, so Roevia, do you have anything else that you want to add or leave us with?
No, I think everyone has to really just take the time to be intentional, to find time and space to be present with yourself. Just learning that practice alone can help you learn to recenter.
Be selfish.
Not continue to operate in this stressful space, because I don't know if you guys are aware of the differences between the US and Europe. The United States functions off of stress, whereas in Europe, it's commonplace that they go on holiday. So the months between June and September, most of the country, France, people in England, different European countries, hotels and things are booked. Things are more expensive to go to Europe in the summer because they are on holiday, and they get built into their work schedule. That's part of their work benefit, is to be gone for a month.
Yeah, that's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show.
I think these millennials are gonna teach us, is they like,
they're not playing this shit. Yeah, no.
They're like, we ain't doing this shit. We are what?
You talk about Gen Z.
Right.
Gen Z is your 26 and younger.
Fuck your job.
That's the Gen Z.
Fuck your job. Fuck this
fuck your expectations. Right. Fuck this job description. Yeah, right. And your expectations.
Exactly. Yeah. We can learn something from them. We definitely can learn something.
Yeah, they came to teach. They came to teach. They certainly have, and to shift. So yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure, ladies.
Thank you.
Yes,
thank you so much.
Thank everyone for coming out to another No Bra Wednesday. Welcome our men who are out there. We see y'all.
Yes.
We see y'all.
Yes.
I see them representing with the toe orgasms.
Yes, girl.
A good foot massage will take you out.
Right.
Paz, were you gonna say something? Because you hinted on last week, but you said you were going to talk about you decided not to say that just how sleepy. I know you were sleepy. Just letting everybody know there was nothing wrong with you. Tracy, she was.
Y'all,
Marcel was not out of it.
With concern, I was not high.
Major concern. She was not high.
I was so tired. I literally was about to fall asleep on the show. So thank you for everyone who reached out with their concern. I'm so glad
I got phone calls.
Close enough.
I had phone calls like, what's wrong with Paz? What was wrong with Paz?
What was it, Billy?
I
was mad.
I said,
what's the cartoon where they have the two
toothpicks on their eyes? That's funny.
I needed them.
She was hanging on. I was like,
I was hanging on by a thread, y'all. I was
hanging on. That's why I was like, I'll carry the conversation. She cool. She could go. She's sitting right over there looking like.
I was like
I don't want to be here. Right. But we have our moments, and we are very real and frank with y'all. So yes, we stressed and tired and whatever else the fuck is happening. So yeah,
it was not a good night.
Yeah. but she's okay, and thank you for the concern and the phone calls to check in on her.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
The fuck was wrong with Paz?
Is she okay? I was like, oh, I'm like, damn, did they notice?
I'm like, girl, they noticed, girl. Yeah, so I was looking at you the whole time. I said, oh Lord, we got to work with that resting bitch face, because Lord knows.
I was fading. No. Yeah, I was fading fast. Whew. But I'm back. Yes,
she is back, and we are good. All right, so good night, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, and we cannot wait. Join us next Wednesday. Oh, right. Wait a minute. I'm not talking about the shit. See,
we're doing money moves with Paz next week.
And just a reminder. Go ahead. I got my
financially intimidated. So for those of you who are allowing fear to keep you from your right of wealth and prosperity, however that looks for you, it's time to get over it and change the mindset. It's your mind. You got to shift. You got to do some rewiring in here and get those habits in place so that you can be who you say you want to be. Yeah. Stop saying it. Start getting it done.
Yeah, we're gonna have that conversation. So
we're gonna have that conversation, because I'm tired of talking to Terry Salay's gonna be here next week. Oh, okay. We want some more people to talk to about money. God damn it, we want to talk to every. We're building millionaires up in here. We want billionaire mindset. So
all right,
let's talk about it.
All right. Okay, so join us next Wednesday and tell all your friends and check out the link, our link tree for all the links. All right.
Follow us on Instagram and invite your damn friends. Y'all out here, why don't y'all take some time to invite some folks to the group and let them know. Don't keep this as a hidden gem.
Invite your stressed out friends to rewatch this episode.
Let the people know. Tag them in here. Tag them on here. Thank you, but we appreciate you all. Thank you.
Yes, love you.
And thank you, Roethia.
Yes, thank you, Ro. Yes, Dr. Ro.
Be blessed.
Yeah, we put it in the universe, Dr. Ro.
Girl, I'm too old to go back and get any doctorates. I need an honorary degree.
Yeah. We can put that in there.
Fresh out the oven, straight to the bank. Ben's Hager smelling like bank. Seats, somebody died on them. Kitty looking like somebody cried on it. Ooh, what you looking at? What you looking at? Body like cinnamon roll, icing on the top.